Hello and welcome to the Revenge of the Drive-In commentary track for From Russia with Love, starring a stuntman doing the gun barrel sequence that isn't Sean Connery. James Bond is such an impact on popular culture, and it was a long time before I actually saw all of the Bond movies. I was well into my teens, maybe even in my 20s. But it's funny how, like, you'll see something in, like, a comedy, and I mean Austin Powers being the big one, but, like, even other things, and then you, like, look back and it's like, oh, that's from a James Bond thing. Like, the whole thing with the fish there reminds me a bit of The Naked Gun, when he's he's got the Japanese fighting fish, which he ends up stabbing with the pen.
With the pen, right?
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, another great not action spy story, of course. You've seen that one, right?
I have, yeah. It's fantastic.
Have you read the book? Have you read any John Le
No,
Carre?
I haven't. I just haven't read it.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
such a
I
poser.
remember I read that book. It's good, but it's very... John Le Carre, he's a fantastic novelist, but they're really slow. You kind of have to work your way through the books. They're not Ian Fleming, like, page turners, you know?
Yeah. Do you think that's kind of what gave Ian Fleming talent for writing spy novels, that he himself was a spy and was privy to so much kind of crazy spy information during the war?
I actually don't know, because I feel like his stories were so... I think I saw someone say this, or read someone say this, but they kind of viewed James Bond as, like, Ian Fleming's fantasy, like the person that he wished he was, because he was a spy, but he was just doing this boring, like, desk stuff, and it's like James Bond actually gets to do shit. And so I think maybe it's in that sense, yes, maybe him being a spy is what made him such a good writer, but it wasn't necessarily because of personal experience. It was more for, like, just what he kind of wished he had gotten out of the job. Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's almost
I
a
don't
story
know
that...
a whole lot about Ian Fleming as a real person. I know he was cousins with Christopher Lee, and I know he was, and I know he wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's, like, all I know about him, other than... And what was the name of his home? Was it Skyfall, or was it... no, it was...
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, yeah, that's right. Which I think that's really neat that they, even when they've run out of Ian Fleming source material, they can still find ways to get James Bond movie titles out of Ian Fleming's life. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Although GoldenEye does sound
Yeah.
like more like a spy novel than it sounds like the name of a home or an estate, let's be honest. Skyfall sounds like an estate, which is...
It does, yeah.
Or at least more so than GoldenEye, which is why it was the Bond estate in Skyfall, I'm sure. You know how there's that map that goes around online every now and then? It's like, these are all the countries that have been invaded by Britain, and it's like all but, like, 4 countries in the world are in blue or something.
Yeah.
I would like to see a map. I'm sure someone out there has done this, because the James Bond fandom is, you know, it goes deep. But I would love to see a map of, like, all the countries James Bond goes to in movies.
That'd be a good one. I can only think
He's
of...
definitely been to more than half of the European countries in the movies, and then he goes to America. Is he ever in Canada? I don't think he is. Not that I can recall.
No,
and then
the closest run-in with Canada is in the beginning of Casino Royale, when he talks to a CSIS agent.
Oh, I was going to say, at the beginning, Casino Royale's in Africa somewhere. I was confused there, but okay, I see what you mean.
Sean Connery in Diamonds Are Forever was looking a little bloated.
Yeah, he was a little out of shape, but you're right. I think Connery in Never Say Never Again looks better than Roger Moore in Say A View to a Kill. I would agree with that.
Though Connery in Diamonds Are Forever has the best, one of the best lines. To be honest, I forget it, but it's when he chokes that woman with her bikini top.
He says something about, like, don't you have something to get off your chest or
that's
something?
it, yeah.
She, like, rips the bikini top off. There's something about that.
Yeah, I
You have
love
something
that.
to get off your chest. Yeah. That scene is I hate that opening scene so much, because it's so weird.
It's the best.
The weirdest part about it is when he's stepping in and he's like, "My name is Bond, James Bond," but it's, like, weirdly sped up for some reason, and it sounds like sped up, and it's very weird. It sounds so weird. And I remember, like, renting that movie from the library. I put in the DVD. DVD menu starts up, and there's, like, a few, like, lines that are spoken, and then there was like that line, and I'm like, oh, that sounds sped up, but I'm like, oh, it's just for the DVD menu, they probably sped it up. But then you watch the movie and it's like, oh no, it sounds like that in the movie too.
How unfortunate.
And there's even right before that, he's like throwing a guy around in like a Japanese karate dojo or something, and he's like, where's Blofeld?
Yeah.
Where is he? And it's like you can so obviously tell the line is like dubbed in. It just, that scene is so, the sound mixing in that scene is like atrocious. I hate that scene.
Yeah.
We were talking about I mentioned the dune buggy scene earlier. I mentioned the battleship scene. That's the worst scene in Bond history, but it's bad for so many different reasons. It's not like dune buggy's bad because there's a dune buggy. Hockey scene's bad because it's just dumb. The opening scene of Diamonds Are Forever is bad for like so many reasons.
Well, but Dune Buggy scene's also bad because the fake astronauts fake chase after him.
Well, they run slow is the worst part. Yeah, because they're running in slow motion. Like, you're not real astronauts. I know you and I have talked about Diamonds Are Forever ad nauseum before, but I do think at the end of the day, say what you will about, is Sean Connery better than Roger Moore? Sure. Roger Moore might not have been able to make Diamonds Are Forever work, but that's definitely a better movie with Roger Moore than it is with Connery. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, Diamonds Are Forever is sorry, what? What'd you say?
That would have been a better movie if Roger Moore was in it.
If Diamonds it was Roger Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'm
not saying it would have been
hokey.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Roger Moore just works better with that tone. I think Roger Moore has
he's got that kind of playful
quality in his performance.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. As it stands, I think it's basically, it's kind of Sean Connery's Moonraker, really, where it's just that one movie that took it a little too far, that's the complaint with Moonraker. I actually think Moonraker is a fine movie.
Yeah,
there's some great
it's fine,
stuff in
but
Moonraker.
Again, it's just a little too. Yeah, or even like some of the model work in Moonraker is just really campy.
Oh, I don't remember the specifics. I'm just thinking like the Jaws falling in love is definitely too much. There's an excellent car chase in that one, though. Or like Pierce Brosnan's Die Another Day would be kind of another example where he has 3 kind of normal Bond movies, and then he has one that's just like, what the fuck is this? It's
totally
like a superhero movie.
Yeah. I will say, though, that the worst character in all of Bond franchise is that dumb fucking sheriff.
I agree. I don't have too much of a problem with him in Live and Let Die, because he at least makes sense. But the thing that angers me is that someone said, we got to bring this guy back. Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
I know.
Like,
doesn't an elephant steal his wallet?
Probably. Or is it a monkey or
I think
something?
It's an elephant
I think you're probably right.
Out of his back pocket.
But that's the dumbest part too. Is like they had to find a way to get the character in The Man with the Golden Gun, and so he's just this like fat racist sheriff is just vacationing in Thailand. What the fuck? That's like the most. That is more unbelievable than anything in Moonraker. I'm sorry, it just is. That guy would not vacate. That guy's vacationing. I was about to say Graceland, but Elvis was still alive at the time, so he, Graceland's not a vacation destination. Where would that guy go on vacation? Go to like Dallas or something. He's not going to Thailand of all places.
He's going to like Fort Worth or something for a week.
Yeah. He's Virginia Beach.
Yeah,
Miami Beach,
Virginia Beach, Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach, if that was or Atlantic City, Vegas maybe. Those
there
would
you
be
go,
good
yeah.
places. But yeah, not fucking Thailand. This guy's not going to Thailand with his wife.